Hi all, today we are going to discuss about decision thinking based video on expense tracker software. So normally you have numerous of expense at the final end of the month. We don't know how much expense we have, so we are going to do a decision thinking based expense tracker. So first phase will be empathy phase.
In the empathy phase, first we need to understand the problem of the user or the person who is in need. We should put ourselves in their position and we have to think according to it. And in expense tracker, it comes to the salary and the expense made. The salary should be high and the expense should be low. This is the empathy part, and next we'll go on.
So I am going to explain about the define phase. So define phase is nothing but that they have three layers. So they have a presentation layer and application layer and data layer. In presentation layer, we are going to run a UI user interface. It should be in the user friendly for both user and admin. So we are using Flutter or React. And for application layer is a back-end work. We are using Flask and Java or Node.js for this, and data layer. So data layer is a storage layer. It is a database storage layer. So we are using MySQL or MongoDB. So this is the.
So you are going to define it based on empathy, but you are going to get based on three layers. So next comes the layer called ideation.
Then
What will you do in ideation?
so the ideation sector, the solution all should be very user friendly, so that it should be effective for the user to use the app to improve their savings, and they should reduce their expenses which they are making. In that cases, we should have the more features such as expensive making for a particular day, particular week, and particular month. With the help of Tableau or many software applications, with that we can give them the visualization of the expenses which they are making in a very catchy or engaging way, so that the user can be very easily they can track their expenses which they are keeping in their month.
So in ideate phase, you are going to say which kind of software you can able to use. So based on ideate phase, next comes your
Prototype phase. In prototype, as you said, we can able to display the details in Tableau. We can able to develop our own Tableau, not that scale, but we can able to present our own charts and statistics in our app. And for front end, we should be minimal because it's simply an Android app. We should plan to 8 to 10 clicks to attain the goal what the user needs. For backend, we can go for the Python, which is able to support that minimal backend service.
Python, which means a middle layer only, no?
Python, we can able to use Flask and Fast API. We can able to for the middleware we can use Fast API, which is a Python package. For a complete backend, we can go for the Flask and another Python package. That's it.
This is for your implementation phase.
Prototype.
So prototype phase. Next comes the phase called testing phase.
In this process, we are testing phase. The user has the full responsibility to check if the expenses are within his calculation. That is, if he is traveling for ₹100 and the food amount will be 50, then the total expense will be 150. His expectations will be above 200 or might be less than 150. So now the amount is about 150. Now he guesses that his amount is within the 200. So he's enough, and he also ensures that the amount is okay, and also the expense track that is about if the food rate is higher than the traveling rate, he will be adjusting with it. But if the food rate is lower and the traveling rate will be higher, he can't do anything at the final situation. So we should first of all we should check if the expenses are within his expectations.
So the DT video comprises of your expense tracker system, where we have numerous of the empathy part, where the empathy is the thing. So we go for a thing called define, where we define what and all thing we need to have in this empathy first. So with this we go for ideate. Ideate is which software language so you can be able to develop in the for the software. So from the ideate phase you go for implementation phase. So that is nothing but your prototype phase. And prototype phase, So we are going to develop a model prototype. We are going to give into testing phase. We are based on the feedback of the testing we are going to get, and we are going to use numerous modification of the implementation phase. So with this, we are going to say the DT based on expense tracker system. Okay, thank you.